Okay, God bless you. Blessings. And today we're going to talk about the gospel for the third Sunday on the time of the Lent. And Jesus Christ once wanted to clarify something in the minds of the Jewish people. They thought that suffering was a result of sin, or sinners suffer. And so Christ wanted to clarify that and said, not necessarily, you know, but and he because the people came to him to ask him about what happened to the people who were killed in the temple, and their blood was mixed with the blood of the sacrifice. And Christ said, yeah, well, in a nation or in a community, some people suffer not because they were bad, but because they belong to the community. And so he made a distinction. So for it can happen because we are members of the community. When the community did something that it caused some kind of trouble, the other members suffer, not because they were sinners, but because they were members of the community. And so for the individual, it's different though. The individual really is responsible for his own action. But then he also gave an example of a parable of the fig tree. Okay, the fig tree had a chosen place, special place for that. But for 3 years, it was not producing any fruit, and so well, it had to be taken out because it was draining the nutrients in the soil. But the gardener said, "No, I will cultivate around it and maybe put some fertilizer, and maybe it will bear fruit." So what does it say? Again, in a community, no, we can be victimized by the, the action about some people because our lives are intertwined. But Christ said, if you did not understand things well, and if you pursue what you're doing now, you will also suffer the consequence. Because at that time they were kind of rebelling against the Romans. There's another way of dealing with that. That's why I give another example. I clarify the individual case. So we come back to the individual. So the individual is different. No, that you are given a choice. Either you produce or not, and do not drain the nutrients of the soil. And so, but there's also a second chance. You are given another opportunity. So we are told not to give up. But then, and again, the community has something to do with this, to play a very important role to play, because when we did something wrong, either and we do not listen to God, we usually give up. But there's no use. I'm a bad person. But God is always giving us a second chance, another opportunity to change, to come back to Him. And so now, as we are members of the community, we have a responsibility also of maybe helping the person see that God is giving him another chance to change. Either it's because usually the person is desperate will give up on his own. God will never, but we do. And we do, especially with sinners, they do give up easily. So, as members of the community, we can help the person, not give up, but help the person realize what he or she did wrong and then come back to God. And so here we have a lot of lessons to learn. Individually, we're responsible for our own actions. We cannot depend on other people or kind of drain the energy of other people. But if we are the sinner, we have to remember we have to remember this. God is going to give us another chance. And if we are the member of the community, we have to help the sinner see that point and help the sinner change, come back to God. And so a lot of lessons to learn. But always God's purpose is to save us, to heal us, and to give us another chance, and we can help the person, the sinner, to come back to God. And if not, there's always the last chance. And when it comes, there's no way we can come back. There's no way. But as we said, God will not give up, but we would not give up either and listen to his call to repent, to change our life. Thank you. Okay. So